They hunted him down.
You know, Colonel, we went to a lot of trouble to find you.
They murdered his friends. And they took the only thing he would kill for.
If you want your kid back, then you gotta cooperate. Right?
Wrong.
Now, somewhere, somehow, someone's gonna pay.
Do you think that he is going to give us any problems?
You'll do exactly as he's told.
Hasta luego, fellas.
You're a funny guy, Sully. That's why I'm going to kill you last.
Are you gonna tell me what's going on or what?
No. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired. What are you doing?
Helping you get her back.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied.
If it's a mission no man can survive, he's the man for the job. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando.
Let's party.
And welcome, everyone, to Bullets,
Bourbon, and Karate.
And this week's episode is
Commando.
Granddaddy of modern action movies is what Mark Lester refers to this movie as.
The granddaddy?
Yeah.
Wow.
That this movie is the template, the reason that all action movies of today are how they are. I don't know if I agree with that, but this is a badass movie.
Oh, without a doubt. It is every kid's fantasy movie to live out, I think. It was definitely mine.
Yep.
And
you wish your daughter would kidnapped?
Right, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, now that I'm of age, married, my only mission is to have a daughter, create an enemy, and have her kidnapped, as well as Bennett. And
do terrible shit in the war,
right,
and revenge, and go through all of that, and meet a flight attendant that apparently is her new mom.
Right.
We are talking about, of course, Commando, starring the man, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Our first one we've done with
This is the first Arnold one, and that's huge.
It is.
Because he... it's him, it's Stallone. It's, in terms of the movies we love, the movies that you love if you listen to this, and that genre of the early 80s to mid-90s, it's Schwarzenegger, it's Stallone, it's all those guys, and this is one of the big first ones.
Yeah, it's hard to get away. I mean, when we started doing this podcast, it was like, oh, okay, immediately we go to these movies. Yeah. Commando, Rambo, everything else to that effect, but it's hard to get outside of this tight-knit family with Van Damme, Rambo, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, all those guys. And then when we do one, it's like, well, do we want to be as obvious as they have been? And why the fuck not? We love this movie.
I love this movie so much, and you're right. There is a movies like this, like Commando, Die Hard, Roadhouse. These are movies that intimidate me to even discuss because it's been done so much, and they are just revolutionary films.
Sure.
To me, to you, to many people, and to tackle that, to approach such a subject, we want to make sure that we do it justice, and I think we will because we just think this movie's fucking awesome.
That's all that matters, right?
That's what this podcast is.
For our hearts in it, it's not. We're not here to make. We will make fun of parts, but in the long run, this is This is the granddaddy.
This is okay, that's how Mark Lester, and he knows his shit. This is one of my top 5 action movies of all time, personally.
I could agree with that.
Straight action. It's got the tongue-in-cheek. It's got the over-the-top action. It's got just this wonderful backstory and characters behind the film and on screen. Oh, what's not to love?
Yeah.
And I'm Adam Archer.
I'm Mark Hall.
And we are Bullets, Bourbon, and Karate. Every week we talk about one of our favorite movies, action movies specifically. And you can find us all over the internet, mainly in about 4 or 5 specific spots. BB Karate Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and we're also on Facebook.
Yes, at Bullets, Bourbon, and Karate.
We do know the name of our podcast.
This is the hardest part to get through.
Yeah, once we're through this.
Yeah.
And our email is bbkaratepodcast@gmail.com. But let's toss all that aside, because what we really want to talk to you guys about is about just giving those ratings.
Sweet ratings.
Sweet 5 stars. Hit us up on wherever you listen to podcasts, and if you have the ability to comment or give a review, write one.
Yeah, you do have the ability. Let's not ask questions. You have the ability to do it.
What would John Matrix do?
Yeah.
He'd give the fucking review, and then he'd laugh awkwardly with his daughter.
Yeah, he'd eat a sandwich that he didn't know what was in it.
Yeah.
And then Bennett would come along,
Yes.
and he would write an even better review.
Yes.
Yeah.
I killed you, let off some steam, all of that.
Yeah.
So many one-liners in this movie. So that's us. But yeah, we would truly appreciate it if you, we're not begging, a little bit. Go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star, and write us a little review. We would appreciate it. And we are doing Commando. And we are Bullets, Bourbon, and Karate, which means we pair the movie we do with a drink.
And we did just that this week.
And this might be our first pairing of a bourbon.
I think it is. Yeah, I believe it is.
Now, with Perfect Weapon, we loved it so much, we were like, let's just drink whatever we want.
Right.
And we did drink bourbon there. But no, we are pairing this movie with a bourbon.
And it came organically, too. I mean, we were doing some thinking about what to do for
because we've done so many mixed drinks, and this movie has so much importance to us, and it's all over the map. I mean, you could do... Gosh, I always think of martinis when I do airports.
Right.
I don't know why. I just enjoy martini in an airport bar.
I'm the same way with like a margarita in an airport bar. Yeah.
So we could have done that for our personal connection.
What else is there?
I mean, because this movie, it takes place in the cities, in the deserts, in California. And we've chosen a drink that's personal to us only because we recently toured their distillery.
We did. Nice little trip to the Bourbon Trail that we're getting over physically and mentally.
Detoxing our livers as we drink right now. We are pairing this with Woodford Reserve's double... What is it called?
Double oak.
Double oak aged bourbon.
Yeah.
So what they've done is they age it regularly in their regular barrels, and then put it into an oak barrel that's extra charred. Is that correct?
So I was looking up just to make sure that I had this correct, and it says that Woodford Double Oaked is produced by rebarreling Woodford Reserve Distiller Select in a second virgin charred oak barrel for a little under a year. Although it doesn't have a all-star flavor profile, Double Oak still manages to come across as richer and heavier in comparison to standard Woodford Reserve, which I will agree with that.
Yeah.
During the tasting, too. I think everything tastes better during a tasting, though, as well. The setting's there, the mood's there. But we got a bottle of it. My wife and I did, and we all got a bottle of something pretty much everywhere that we went to. But we fell in love with this one, and it's delicious.
It is. It's so easy to drink. If you're a neat person, I like just a little bit of ice or a big ice ball that sort of melts slower. And... You can't go wrong. And, of course, Arnold, in his earlier days, was nicknamed the Austrian Oak. And here we have the double oak barrels. But I think Arnold enjoys a good bourbon. I can see John Matrix, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if he drinks now because he has a daughter.
Right.
Putting that life behind him or whatever.
Yeah.
But I could see him and his boys, they get back. Man... As I'm saying this, what a cool prequel that would be. If we got to see a young Arnold and
that would be fun, yeah.
Doing their shit.
Yeah.
But I could absolutely see it, and it has this really just fantastic, easy to drink flavor. And this movie is fantastic and easy as hell to watch. It moves like, gosh, a sailboat with a backwind.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good comparison.
I don't know if it's anything's called a backwind in sailing, but it makes sense in my head. So that's what we're pairing with it. What are you pairing with it? Let us know. Talk to us on the Instas.
That's what they would talk to us on. Yeah. Slip into our DMs. Let us know what you're drinking. Email us.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a drink, and then we're going to get started with Commando.
Commando. Cheers.
Cheers.
And? I mean, I wouldn't want to. I feel like I could drink a whole bottle.
I could easily, yeah.
Just nonstop.
Pretty good.
October 4th, 1985. I was 2 years old when this came out.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it in theaters. Do you have any personal memories with this one, Marcus?
Personal memories, no big stories.
Right.
Dating back to the past few episodes that we've done.
You didn't finger a girl while
No,
you watched.
there was no sexual lust going on during this time. I don't think I saw Commando. I was still young because I think I was like probably around 8, 10, somewhere around that age. And it was like one of the more violent movies that I had seen as a youngster growing up too. Compared to now and what we've seen, it doesn't compare. It's not violent, but in the sense that you get an arm cut off, you get a saw blade through the head, you get a lot of fun stuff in it, and it was just one of those. Seeing Schwarzenegger in what he can do was pretty amazing, and immediately just we'll get into all of it, but the suit up part is just. That'll make any little boy's dick move right there, just to get excited about joining a secret special ops group in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me, I was sipping on some of this wonderful bourbon. I have my history with this is watching it at a friend's house. Yeah. I don't have, like you, I don't have specific stories with it. The score of this movie by James Horner, which I think is fantastic. It's perfectly that has always stuck in my head.
Yeah. Get a little sax, you get a little everything in it. Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And watching it at my friend's house, I too was taken aback by the violence as a small child, as you can imagine. Specifically, the saw blade in the head.
Yeah.
That would horror movies would fuck me as a kid, and even that I was like, no, I can't. Like, it's jarring, and it's so well done.
It is.
A lot of the kills in this movie just they look great.
They do.
Aside from like the big explosion where you can just see a bunch of mannequins.
Yeah.
But hey, do what you got to do. So yeah, that's my history with this movie. I wish I had more, but I don't really. 1985, pretty big year all around, and I probably saw this movie in 92, probably. Something like that, if I had to guess. Was that about when you saw it?
Probably around like 87, 89, I would think, somewhere around there. Being a little older than you. Mm-hmm. But I remember still, of course, being in, I was probably 4th or 5th grade when I saw it, because the next thing I did the next day was talk about how cool Commando was to every kid in class. And some of them hadn't seen it. They didn't know what it was. Some of them didn't even hear of Arnold Schwarzenegger yet. And it felt very empowering to go in there.
Yeah.
I saw this grown-up movie.
Wasn't that great to do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. When you were in class and you bring up a movie like this specifically with this up-and-coming, budding movie god who had done, up to this point, 2.
Yeah.
Like, he did Hercules in New York, which was his first actual film, but then, like, 2 huge studio movies at this point. He had done Terminator and Conan.
Yeah.
So,
and he's just coming off a Terminator with this one, too, yeah.
And so, in Terminator, game-changing film, loved by critics, loved by box office, everybody. And so he's bankable, and he wants to find that next project, and this is what he chooses. And so you go to your friends, and you're sitting there, you're eating your pizza with hot sauce on it, or ranch. You're just like, oh, I saw this movie, and what was it? It's called Commando. Mm-hmm. And then you try to explain the stories you could tell about this movie of throwing the saw blade. And he has this rocket launcher, and he pulls it open and shoots it. And he's so big. He's so fucking big. Just great stuff. And that's kind of my history with it. I wish it were more, but this is just one that's always been around.